I'm clicking live. What's up? Question mark.
Oh, good morning. Welcome to First Universalist Church of Yarmouth. I got so caught up watching that PowerPoint, I kind of lost all sense of space and time. It's so good to see those wonderful photos. Well, my friends, we at First Universalist are a Unitarian Universalist congregation, and our mission is to explore our faith, embrace this community, and engage the world as spiritual seekers. I'm Reverend Hillary Collins-Gilpatrick, the minister of our church, and it's with great joy that I say, whoever you are, wherever you are from, whomever you love, whatever you have done, you are welcome here. And we're so glad you're here. Before our service begins this morning, I have a couple of announcements. First, following our service today, all are welcome to our Zoom coffee hour. You can find a link to our coffee hour in the email you received from us this morning, it had the order of service in it. And you can also find a link on our YouTube page where you're watching this service right now. Announcement number 2. Do you like to explore spiritual practices, ponder theological questions, build community, and make new friends? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you might consider joining a small group. Small groups are regularly occurring meetings of a small number of committed folks from our church who gather to check in with one another and discuss life experiences and spirituality. This year, all of our small groups are meeting online, and currently there are openings in our small groups for new members, as well as the opportunity to create new groups. Contact me, Reverend Hillary, if you're interested in joining or learning more about our small group ministry. And okay, those are our announcements this morning. And before we settle in to our sacred and centering time of Sunday worship, will you just take a breath with me? My friends, today, the third Sunday of February, Black History Month, and a month where we are lifting up the theme of beloved community, we offer a very special service, the Love is All You Need service. In the next hour, you will hear 5 reflections from First U members, friends, and families of all ages and stages on this beautiful, big, expansive, and fraught theme. Love is all you need. And if you caught my message in our weekly channels this past Friday, you know that despite initially feeling pretty good about this theme, over time, as I mulled it over, love is all you need, I began to have misgivings. Because, my friends, in this day and age of sickness and hunger, unemployment, ice storms, wildfires, the list goes on, I'm not so sure if love is all we need. But in the midst of my doom spiraling, I recall the impetus for this service, a celebration of our February theme of beloved community. A big, transformative concept that calls us to envision a world where love breaks down all the barriers that cause injustice, inequity, oppression, and devastation. Beloved community is a vision for the world where love really is all we need. So, despite my waffling, we stuck with the Love is All You Need prompt. And I'm so glad we did, because as you will soon witness today, our beloved friends here at First U have much wisdom to share on the ways that love is at work in our lives. Ways that we must lift our hearts, hands, and minds towards as we build this world where love is truly all we need. Thank you so much to all who are participating in our service today. Big love to you. Our opening words this morning were preached by the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in his 1957 sermon, The Nation's Chief Moral Dilemma. Our ultimate end must be the creation of the beloved community. We have before us the glorious opportunity to inject a new dimension of love into the veins of our civilization. The type of love that I stress here is not eros, a sort of aesthetic or romantic love, not philia, a sort of reciprocal love between personal friends, but agape, which is understanding goodwill for all. It is an overflowing love which seeks nothing in return. It does not begin by discriminating between worthy and unworthy people. It begins by loving others for their sakes and makes no distinction between friend and enemy. It is directed toward both. It is this type of spirit and this type of love that can transform opposers into friends. It is love seeking to preserve and create community. It is the love of God working in our lives. This is the love that may well be the salvation of our civilization. Good morning, my friends. Good, bright, blue, golden February morning. Welcome to our Love is All You Need service. As I light the symbol of our faith, our courage, our love, I invite you to join me in our chalice lighting blessing. We light our chalice in peace and friendship. Our opening hymn is number, oh my goodness, what number is it? Number 1029, Love Knocks and Waits for Us to Hear. And this is a hymn that will be played throughout the service today.
Guitars and fettuccine Alfredo. It's about love. That's my... Hello, First U. It's great to be here. I'm here to talk about l'amour, the infinite game of love. When Reverend Hillary approached me with the opportunity to share my thoughts on love, I immediately answered, sure. My usual response to most requests is to say yes and panic about it afterwards. In true fashion, I panicked. What was I thinking? Love, this thing that is at once a brief moment in each small heart and also the guiding force that moves across time and space and all the dimensions, the force that creates galaxies and compels the tiniest elements of life to evolve. Put this into words? Oh boy. Fortunately, my heart stepped up and spoke to my frantic mind. Relax, I got this. You go sit down and dream of guitars and fettuccine Alfredo. It's about love. That's my jam. My heart reminded me of the words of our great philosopher of love, Joni Mitchell. It's love's illusions, I recall. I really don't know love at all. You don't know love, you feel love. And through feeling, you come to understand love a little bit more. It's our hearts that hold the wisdom of feeling and the knowledge of love. It's been said that love is a verb, an action. It is, I believe, also the force that drives that action. I understand love to be action fused with intention, moving us towards the point, the vision where our omens of joy and wonder have directed us. More and more I'm learning that love, big love, is using our actions of intent to open up our lives, our world, our universe, and to help love understand itself through life, through its own creations. And that this uncovering, this blossoming, is accelerated by our collective intent, our collective consciousness, and the melding of our unified intentions and actions. We are the streams merging together as a river, rolling and tumbling on our way to the great mother ocean of love. And I do mean we. Gather yourselves together, the Hopi elders say. See who is in the water with you and celebrate. All that we do now must be done in a sacred manner and in celebration. I know this love, this big love, to be the ultimate infinite game that we all play. And so we practice. Hopefully with every moment of our lives we practice and hone our skills to play better and stronger, to win the smaller finite games that we play within the infinite game. We play hard and we celebrate big, and we celebrate the losses as well. For in the small defeats lay the lessons that we learn and then integrate into our practice. We, every human on earth, play together, though at times it feels that we are competing against one another. Sometimes our teammates seem to be working against the flow of love, but actually they aren't. Not all of us have had the good fortune in life to have been exposed to the rudiments of love play. And as the game evolves, many are left feeling confused and angry and afraid. The game they have known is shifted under their feet and the terrain is morphed into something unstable. So we, who have been blessed, compassionately hold our teammates and allow them their hard-earned freedom to feel the way they feel. And we patiently mentor them through our actions, our practice, our celebrations. We breathe and remind ourselves of the words of the great Canadian philosopher Red Green, keep your stick on the ice, we're all in this together. We practice and we play. The practice is the play, and the play is the practice. And as we play, we move towards our goal, our vision, knowing that when we win, the goal will have expanded into something new and even more enticing. And so the infinite game of love and our joyous practice continues, never ending. If I may be so bold as to tweak the words of Donald Fagen just a bit, what a beautiful world it is and can be. What a glorious time to be held and be free. What a glorious and mysterious infinite game love is. The whistle is blown. It's time once again to take the field. Grab my hand. Let's play.
So I thought first we would kind of to talk about a description of what love is. For me, love is a feeling, but also an action, something you do and a connection. Julia, what did you talk about? How do you describe love?
I talked about love like when I pet my pets, I feel loved because I'm petting them. Or when somebody spends the time to make a craft for me, I feel loved with that.
How would you describe love?
Love is amazing. Love is just love. It's just love. It just makes you feel really good. It's sort of like healing.
Okay.
I love you.
And Cassie, how would you describe love?
Love is a feeling of maybe like feeling connected, it's a feeling of affection towards someone or even something, but not necessarily a romantic connection.
And what about Cassie? When do we feel love, or when do you feel love?
I feel love like when someone takes time to do something for me that they could otherwise be doing something for themselves. Like, for instance, if they're just sending me an email or a FaceTime call or
Other time you said you felt love was when Daddy asks you to do something.
When
Like,
Daddy asks me to like go if he wants to go skiing, he'll take me skiing a lot. Even though a lot of kids don't like showing driveways, if I'm with my dad, I like it that he still invited me because I know he likes it when I show the driveway.
I feel love when my children hug me. Sometimes when I hug my family or my children, it's almost like this whole overwhelming feeling of love. It's so strong. I feel love when I see my daughters showing love to each other. That makes me feel warm. I feel love when Daddy puts gas in my car or does the dishes. Yeah. Or if we
Laundry.
went to a restaurant and I got to choose both the entrees that I does that sometimes. Or our friend Mercy, we have a very special friend, and she makes us these really nice cards, and she puts thoughtful words into them, and she hand makes the cards.
I feel very loved, and I really love attention.
Yeah.
I like it when she does that because she takes the time.
Thought she puts into it.
I remember when Daddy and I got married on our wedding day, feeling a lot of love, not just because we were getting married, but because people took their time. And I remember looking around thinking, look at all those people that came here to spend the day with us to celebrate that and feeling really special and loved that day. What about some ways that we show love? Cassie, how are some ways that you show love?
I like to make things for people and give things to people, especially like a lot of times I will ask people what their favorite treat is, or like I usually make people cupcakes for their birthday.
And Julie, what about you? How do you, some ways that you show love?
I love to like craft, and I show love making crafts.
Other ways you've shown love, Julia, is
Sharing a cupcake.
yes, when Julia, when you were like probably just 4, and we were at a birthday celebration, a birthday party, and there were more children than there were cupcakes, and you had a cupcake, and then there was 2 other children there that were upset because they didn't have a cupcake. And you gave away your cupcake. You cut it in half and gave half to each of the children that didn't have any. And you didn't have.
And one of the girls is my neighbor. She said she was like crying because she really wanted one. She was like 3. She really wanted it, and she kept telling me I could have it, and I told her I didn't want it, even though I really did.
Yes, you pretended like you didn't want it, so she would feel that was really loving thing to do, wasn't it? Or raising money for the homeless. Mm-hmm. Right? That's not something you know, but you're showing love for people.
Oh, thank you, Leslie, Cassie. Okay. I'm getting so caught up in these videos today. Most of them I haven't seen before, so I'm in it right with you all this morning. But now's a chance to let it all settle in for a second as we come to a time in our service that we set aside for silent prayer and contemplation. And in a moment, we will enter into a time of quiet. This is a time to reflect on the events of the past week, look forward to what may come in the days ahead, or simply be here now, in this moment, in all that it offers us in sensation and emotion. So won't you join me now by relaxing into your body, taking a deep, refreshing breath, and entering in to this sacred time of stillness. for all that can be expressed, for all that we hold inside, for all that we simply do not have the words to explain. We hear you, we hold you, and we wish you continued joy, immediate comfort, a path forward, and the seeds of peace. Let it be so. And now, with joy, I invite my partner, Alexis Waller, whom some of you know and some of you don't know, to share the next reflection.
Hi, everybody. I was recently asked to describe an influential person in my life. And the first person who came to my mind was my sister, Jessie. And Jessie came up again when I was thinking about love for this week. So my younger sister, Jessie, was born with Hirschhorn syndrome, which is a chromosomal disorder that affects her brain and her body. And Jessie's arrival in my childhood and on the landscape of our family changed everything. My mom was consumed with Jessie's care, and that influenced all of us in lots of ways. But contemplating this theme, love is all you need, Jessie returned. And of all the hard and beautiful lessons about love that Jessie has brought into my life, what I keep thinking about are these encounters in grocery stores that we would have in my childhood. My mom would put Jessie in the shopping cart when she was little enough, or later when she was learning to walk. Jessie would get to push the cart herself with directional guidance. And we would just roll through the produce aisle or wait in line at checkout. And I would watch people watching us, watching Jessie. Little kids especially would stare, and sometimes they would say politically incorrect things. I mean, Jessie is a funny looking kid by normal standards. And I would observe how their parents dealt with this. Sometimes parents would respond punishingly, I guess expressing their own embarrassment at not knowing how to connect with someone who looked like Jessie. And I would observe my mom always trying to bridge, trying to make it possible for others to feel comfortable, not for Jessie's sake, but for their sake, so that they might realize that it's okay to be present with different kinds of others in ways that they might not be comfortable with yet. One of the remarkable things about my sister, though, is that she has no sense of shame or self-consciousness. She couldn't care less what other people think or feel around her. She likes people a lot, and she pushes her way into anyone's lap or grabs onto their arms to greet them, regardless of how comfortable they feel about this immediate, sudden contact. I always felt like Jessie was an ambassador of sorts, teaching people to get over their fear of difference through sudden, unexpected physical relatedness. Jessie certainly taught me a lot about this, both my fear of difference and my fear of others' discomfort with difference. There are many ways in which Jessie's needs impinged on my own during my growing up, and I would never idealize raising a severely disabled child or growing up with difficulty in that way. But I know that Jessie taught me about how to be more open to the world and to be less afraid of facing certain kinds of challenges. I'm not sure that love is all you need, but in Jessie's big unconditional openness to the world, she taught me much more about what love in its many different forms might make possible.
Thanks, Al. I think we have some music from Sam now.
Love comes to heal the broken heart, to ease the troubled mind. Without a word, love bids us start to ask and seek and find.
This week's offering is shared with the Family Relief Fund of Black-owned Maine, a Portland-based nonprofit. The fund provides one-time grants of up to $250 to area Black and Brown business owners to help cover costs such as childcare, utilities, food, housing, medical payments, and transportation. The fund is part of the mission of Black-owned Maine to serve Black and Brown-owned Maine businesses as a comprehensive resource, providing such tools as an online business directory, podcasts, and interview opportunities to address the issues they face. You are invited to make your offering using the donate button, which you can find in your order of worship, as well as on our YouTube page and on our website. By clicking this link, you'll be taken to GiveButter, a virtual giving site that accepts a card number, PayPal, and Venmo accounts. You may also give your offering by dropping a check in the mail or using your bank's free bill pay feature. This morning's offering has now been requested and will be gratefully received. Thank you.
So in a second here, I'll perform a Tennessee Waltz, an old folk tune. I just wanted to say something really quick about it. Yes, the song is about heartbreak, and it's a really depressing and sad song. But for me, it's taken on kind of a different tone in an interesting way, which is, it's this song about heartbreak, and it has all these options for different pronouns. So the original song is, you're introducing a friend to your female partner, and your male friend takes your female partner away. For me, though, I love to, and always have, used interchanging pronouns in all those spots. And so despite this being a song about heartbreak, it's somehow become a song about queer love for me. And as somebody who has also often used interchangeable pronouns, it's kind of a interesting little connecting point with who I am as a person, and maybe relates to why I have such a deep connection with this song, even after many years of having played it. So here's Tennessee Waltz. I was dancing with my darling to the Tennessee Waltz when an old friend I happened to see. I introduced her to my darling, and while they were dancing, my friend stole my sweetheart from me. I remember the night of the Tennessee Waltz. Now I know just how much I have lost. Yes, I lost my pretty darling the night they were playing that beautiful Tennessee Waltz. Now I wonder how a dance like the Tennessee Waltz could have broken my heart so complete. Well, I couldn't blame my darling, and who could help falling in love with my darling so sweet? Well, it must be the fault of the Tennessee Waltz. Wish I'd known just how much it would cost, but I didn't see it coming. It's all over but the crying. Oh, blame it all on the Tennessee Waltz. She goes dancing with the darkness to the Tennessee Waltz, and I feel like I'm falling apart. And it's stronger than the drink, and it's deeper than the sorrow. This darkness she left in my heart. Oh, I remember the night of the Tennessee waltz, 'cause I know just how much I have lost. Yes, I lost my little darling the night they were playing that beautiful Tennessee waltz.
red roses too. I'll watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Well, I see skies of blue and I see clouds of white and the brightness of day. I like the dark and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the
Love knocks and enters at the sound of welcome from within. Love sings and dances all around and feels new life begin.
Good morning. By some miracle, there come moments when the lighter elements of the universe coalesce into living beings. These beings need nourishment from water, oxygen, minerals, carbon, freely moving electrons, and energy. Most materials are blessedly close at hand, but these beings must gather energy by eating. Most eat sunlight, some eat others, and some of the rest eat leftovers. For most, it is a race to procreate, to make copies of themselves that can successfully make copies of themselves, and so on. I'm not sure that most beings need love, at least not as I know it, to survive that race. Maybe, but I don't know, not really. A lucky few have luxuries to collect enough energy to live, to produce children who in turn enjoy those same luxuries and still have enough time for sailing, for reading and writing, and bagels and cream cheese, and forming imperfect unions. But with these luxuries comes an added need to be met. There's something more to feed within, something not sated by carbon, by water, by energy, but to be sated by our relations to others. It's a peculiar need. In the queue of needs to meet, it jumps around unexpectedly, leaping before some needs at one time, and then later quietly slipping to the end of the line. It stays on its toes with its sneakers tied tightly, ready to move. Ironically, we can be pretty unlovable to others when we have an unmet need for love. Just at that moment when we need it most, we can stupidly spurn it and spurn those who offer it to us. Sometimes we actually have a dainty sufficiency of love, but we can't help ourselves and want to gorge on it, stuffing our mouths and feeling the juice at the corners of our lips. And sometimes when we seem content, finally, with our love-filled bellies, we forget how important it is and squander it thoughtlessly. Wouldn't it be better if it came with instructions like an operating manual or seatbelt? Recently, a beloved elderly family member died. It felt like the natural order of things. He enjoyed life. Wine, good food, small farms, old houses, big trees, a strong body, carefully clothed, a thumping good read, classical music, his children, his partner. For months, his executive skills eroded as his once strong body failed to get up, to get dressed, to be his old self. In his last few weeks, his recall failed and his voice retired. He lost track of who was who and why it mattered. Almost all the joys of life, those things he loved, abandoned him. But he was not completely abandoned. His family surrounded him with care and patience, plumping pillows and spooning puddings, but he didn't need to eat anymore. They played music and they washed him, but he didn't need music and he didn't need a strong body anymore. So they fed him love, because in those last days, love was all he needed. And that is what he got. Perhaps love is all we need, but at the end, it may be all we get. It really would be good if we could just find that manual so we could fully understand love, so that we could make sure each of us gets what we need.
Love will guide us. Peace has tried us. Hope inside us will lead the way on the road from free to giving. Love will guide us
Yay. Love is all you need, folks. We're working on it. Thanks so much for joining our service today. Thank you, Sam, for the beautiful music. And thank you, Stu Guernsey, Leslie, Julia, and Cassie Chambers, Leslie Livingston, Jill Copeland, Kyle Livingston, and Alicia Brayley. Thank you, Alexis Waller. And thank you, Ben Tupper, for your beautiful, profound reflections. Thank you so much, Pete, for being in the sanctuary with Sam. And thank you, Kai, for doing a lot of tech finagling today. These services are wonderful and easier to do in person, but just as moving, I feel, virtually. As we close our service, won't you join me in a time of prayer? my friends. May all beings be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings experience profound joy and the causes of profound joy. May all receive love from expected and unexpected places. May all beings give love at expected and unexpected moments. And may all be free. Join me now in our closing unison benediction written in your order of worship. For those who come here seeking God, may God go with you. For those who come embracing life, may life return your affection. For those who come to seek a path, may a way be found and the courage to take it step by step. Let it be so, and amen. Have a wonderful Sunday, everyone. May you be filled with love.